everyone. I'm joined here with a special guest here, Dr. Nicole Arkadie, our mental wellness expert, and I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here with one of my good friends, Markeisha Hall. I am Dr. Nicole Arkadie, a mental wellness expert, and I focus on helping working moms really learn the importance of self-care and taking care of their mental wellness, knowing that they are important and it's not selfish to take care of self. That you have to do that first in order for you to be able to be successful in helping anyone else. So I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. That was a word right there. I love that. I'm going to be stealing that. So we tell us a little bit about your family, your kiddos, and how we are connected with special needs parenting.
So I have my oldest child is 21 years old and she has special needs. She was diagnosed, I want to say we started the whole IEP process back in kindergarten is when we actually started. And I actually have 3 children. So I have a 21-year-old, I have an 18-year-old, and I have a 14-year-old who is soon to be 15 this month.
I know.
Yes. And that is how we actually met. Our boys were actually met, I think, in 4th grade.
4th grade, yep.
4th grade. And so they have been ace, boom, coons,
yes,
best buds
yes,
since then. And so that's how we actually met. And I'm just so excited to be able, I know you guys already know since you've been listening to Markeisha, but she is a hoot. She has great humor, which I love because I love to laugh.
They don't know that yet. I've been a little shy, but they're gonna get to know that part of me.
You guys are in for a treat. You're in for a treat. So those are my 3 kids that I have. And let's see. Like I said, I am a mental health therapist. So by trade, I provide mental health therapy services and coaching services. And I also teach at a local university as a college professor.
Awesome. So I thought it'd be important.
Awesome.
Oh, wow. I really like that. Dre's going to be upset that that's going to be a purchase that's going to happen later on today.
This is one of the little sound effects, and I'm just playing with this gadget, so that's what I'm enjoying.
So I thought it was super important to, I wish it was mandatory that once a family gets the diagnosis, they go through all kinds of things. Yeah. I think it's been related to the maybe 5 stages of grief. Yeah. And I want the listeners to know that that's okay.
Yes,
right?
It is. And I mean, when we were talking about this, you bring up a very good point, because I can remember when I first got the diagnosis, and I'm going to equate it to the 5 stages of grief, because you go through that denial, like, no, there's nothing wrong with my child. What do you mean? I mean, my child has been fine.
Right.
They met all, my thought was she met all her developmental stages. What do you mean that there's something wrong, that she's not able to keep up?
Right.
Right. And then you go through the anger.
Yeah.
Like, no, this can't be happening to me. Like, or, what did I do wrong?
Right.
Right. What didn't I do in order for this to happen? Then you go through that bargaining stage. Okay, well, maybe if, we look at it a different way, it can change.
Right.
Maybe if you want to see it this way, she'll be all right.
Right.
Right. And then you go through the depression stage where you're feeling sad because you're going, man, you're saying something's wrong with my child.
Right.
You're saying my child, and I'm going to say this word, and this is not how I feel, but you feel like you're saying my child is defective.
Yeah.
Right. And then you take that personally.
Right.
Right. As a personal affront, right, to yourself.
Yes.
And then finally, when you're able to get to that acceptance stage of saying, this is my child, it does not matter that my child has a disability, as we like to say, other abilities, right? You're able to accept them for who they are. And then you can be able to, parent them accordingly, not how you feel you should be able to parent them, but parenting them to what their needs are.
Right. That's good. I learned about that. I'm not sure where I heard that from, but I know that it is important to let newly diagnosed parents, or any parents that may not be newly diagnosed, but they're stuck in one of those stages, to know that that's okay.
Yes.
I adopted Josiah, and we didn't know that he had autism. It was through that process, and I didn't think that I would go through the process because I was in special education. So I was like, oh, I know what it looks like.
Yeah,
I've experienced it. But I did, when I first started seeing him line up his toys, was one of the first things. And then the second was, of course, he didn't have any language, and it was the meltdowns. That's when he started to melt down at the same time every day. And I was like, no, it's just because you're always talking about special education. And then I was like, well, he's adjusting to our home because he was in different foster care homes. And then I was like, am I doing what
parents do?
What I tell them, like, oh, just, it's going to be okay. This is what it is. And I went through that whole thing, and it's real.
Yes.
I got to acceptance quickly.
Do you think you got to acceptance quickly because of your background?
Yes, okay. I think so. Because I'm able to see, I'm about to get emotional. Because I have friends like you. I could see China. I have Bryce with Jen. All my students, they all progressed. So when they came into the classroom, they were, I taught Mod Severe. And then to see them now 15 to FaceTime, I talked to a lot of them. Facebook is wonderful. They're having birthday parties.
Yeah.
So not that everyone might not be verbal, but they made progress from 3. So in my mind, I keep all those things, and that helped me. Okay. And so I'm hoping that our listeners connect with other families online is great, or someone close by, so you can see, like, okay, well, their child progressed, because I don't want to say like they're going to speak, or they're going to walk, but there will be progress that was made.
So you had a reference point.
Yes.
That made it helpful.
That made it helpful
to be able to get to that acceptance piece. Because I can recall, for me, it was this whole piece of shame. Like shame that, man, I failed somewhere. I didn't do something right. And I took my vitamins when I was pregnant. I read to her in my belly. Even when she was an infant, I read and I did all these things. And so you look at, what did I do wrong? Right. And I didn't have that support system. And the people who could have supported me at the time, it's still that shameful piece, right? And I'm still in that denial. Yeah. Like, no. And I can recall I met someone, they said, well, she seems a little, I said, she's just shy. That's just how she is. Yes. She's just, whenever she gets around new people. So I didn't want to hear anything, prior to her becoming school age. Right. When I look back now on other people who kind of was trying to help me identify some things, that I was just, I don't know what you're talking about. Right. My daughter is fine. Yep.
And I hear a lot of that in my mom groups. And I don't want it to be that way. It is, I want you guys to be able to go through the process and know that on the other end that your child will make progress. Yeah. And that it is okay to be in each one of those stages and get through those stages so that you can get to the acceptance of it. And sometimes it still creeps up though, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, you do, and I have to check myself, right? Because one of the things with my daughter, she has a difficult time with shoes, and so she still puts her shoes on, the wrong feet, and so she's like, "Mom, which one?" And I would tell her, "Don't go outside with those looking at you, right?" And so we just had to figure out ways to modify for her, and it was just simply drawing a heart on the right shoe. On the back of the heel. So then she knew, this one goes on my right foot. Okay. Because I would ask her, doesn't it feel different when you put your wrong foot in the other shoe? She's like, no, it feels fine to me. Yep. And I'm just thinking, I tried it. And I thought, oh my God, this feels weird to me. I don't know how she's doing that.
Right. Yeah, I know for me, anger kind of sprawled up this season because he started kindergarten. And it was bad. So, but I was able to recognize it. I guess that's an important thing, right? As a mental health expert.
Awareness is key. Okay. I mean, awareness is key because you can't change anything unless you first have awareness. Right. So you have to first have that awareness, right? Which is the acknowledgement that, okay, there's something wrong, something's going on. Right. Right. And then being able to identify what it is. I have an AIP process in my Cage No More book talking about this. And so then you have to process it. Yes. Right. And it's a stage. Yeah. It's a process of being able to do that. And it can take some time. Yeah. Right? Practice makes perfect. Right. That's how you can
practice makes progress.
Yes. I like that. Practice makes progress.
I slipped all the way. Because I slipped all the way into anger.
Yes.
I was really upset because I was like, why does he have to struggle? Because it was kinder and like his first real year in a real big kid school, as he would say. And he struggled, and that made me really upset because even though I couldn't have done anything about it, because he was adopted, but even if I had birthed a child that was on the spectrum, there's nothing that you can do about it. Nope. So, but I still was like, well, I'm a teacher. His dad's a teacher. His siblings are all honorable. He's around this, and even though we can't change that.
No, that you bring up a good point. I can remember having a conversation with my mom, going, "This is so hard." I said, "You know what? I think she needs to be in a home where it's just one parent. Just she's the only child with two older parents, like both of them educated."
Right.
My mom said, "No, she's in the best home that she can be in."
Right.
Because I'm like, "But this is hard.
Yeah.
How do you?" Because it was really managing my own emotions.
Right.
It was nothing about her.
Absolutely.
It was all about managing my own emotions and adjusting my own expectations.
Yes, that's good.
So that they could be realistic.
Yes.
Right. For my child.
Yes.
And that's the part that's a challenge.
Yep. Because he is happy as a clam. Once we remove some of the things once we adjust what my expectations are, not that they're low expectations, but they're not
realistic.
They're realistic.
Yeah.
And focusing on progress and what we used to be. I don't know about you. Like with Taylor, we were like, she's my oldest. I forget everybody doesn't know. She's our oldest. She's 17. She's graduating this year. But when she was a baby, when she was our first, so we're like, we want her in the best schools. Yeah. And she got like the Obama Reading Award, and she got lots of stuff. Wow. And so, that's a lot of pressure that I then put on Joe. Or not. I don't know how to say it.
Well, I think you're saying it right. Is because when you start off with high excellence, right, then your expectation is that the other ones are going to come and be at the same level. And so then when you don't have that, it takes some time to readjust and shift, right, of how you're looking at it.
Right.
And that's normal.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Well, I'm good. I'm glad they know that's normal. Because I was feeling bad. I was like, you shouldn't. I was like, they were reading by this time. I did the same thing with all three of the kids. And then I had to be aware of what I was putting myself through, really, because he doesn't care.
He's in happy land.
Okay.
Right? They don't care.
He doesn't care.
It's us.
It's us. Yep. He doesn't know about those things.
No.
He's happy. And so I refocused, and I still have to refocus because our society is so very hung up on milestones and those type of accomplishments, and not to take those accomplishments away from our other children because they work hard for those things also, but it doesn't have to be the same for each child. Now I know that to be the truth, but still I'm trying to tell you guys, like I still go through it and be like, I want him to get
it's not like you've arrived.
Right.
It's a process.
Want him to get the pink ice cream cone for the sight words. And then I'm thinking, that's not where he is right now. He just started, if I actually look at it, he's 6 now. So he's only been talking for 2 years.
Wow. That's amazing. For 2 years?
Yeah.
He talks well.
He does talk well.
For 2 years?
He talks my ears off.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to put that in perspective.
I know. He says, hi, Brenton's mom. I'm forever Brenton's mom.
Where's Taj? Where's the baby at?
Right?
Yeah. So putting things into perspective is...
Yeah. And I will say this to your listeners, to the listeners listening in. I wish I would have had someone like you, an empowered parent partner.
Oh,
I wish I would have had someone like you. And it is different when you're a parent versus a professional.
Yes.
Because on the professional realm, when I used to work for a county agency, I used to go to the IEPs. I was the one that did assessments this is for our emotionally disturbed children who actually had to have a higher level of care, who couldn't be contained in a regular classroom setting, but they actually had to go to residential treatment facilities. And so I was used to going to IEPs and, presenting and doing this and talking to the parents. But when I was the parent on the other end, I don't care how much education, how much experience, I was sitting there boohooing and crying.
Absolutely.
And going, what in the world give me the Kleenex, I can't even speak, Kleenex box kind of thing.
Yes.
So it's different when you're the parent and you're going through that. But to have someone to sit with you through that process, oh my gosh, meant so much. I mean, it would have meant so much to me. And so for me, I was able on the professional realm, because when I would see parents start to cry, and I would see some of those school officials just be really cold, and act as if they were just dismissive and didn't even see the tears, and I would have to say, can we just pause for a moment? Can we get her some water? Can we get some Kleenex, please? So to have someone such as yourself as an advocate on my side at that time, man.
Well, I'm hoping that's what I hope for. That's what I've started this for, because I wanted to. I saw the same thing when I was a teacher. I was on the other side. And but what touched me and what made me do that is just seeing the other side. It was like, we're just both parents. Like, I'm a parent and you're a parent, and that's how I would feel. Well, now how I do feel having my child that does have IEP and does need those types of things. So thank you.
You are so very welcome. Well, I am just super excited to be able to have come on and just, share some tips, some nuggets for the parents and help them to feel, let them know they're not alone.
Right.
That's the biggest thing, because you feel so isolated. When I work with clients, oftentimes they'll say, I feel so isolated.
Yes.
And that's why I love doing groups. So when I do my group sessions, because they get to experience other people going through the same thing, and they go, wow, it's not just me. I'm not alone. I'm not a freak. There's not something wrong with me.
Right.
And so I'm so glad that you're doing this forum so that you're helping those parents who have children with special needs, right? With other abilities to be able to, feel okay.
Right.
And not feel shame.
Right. Or guilt. Yes. Like, even when you feel mad, because I still get mad. Josiah, Christmas decorations, got taken apart. He's starting to cut, and some things that we don't want cut have been cut. And then you already, you feel mad. I felt mad. I was like, what do you, then you feel guilty. I was like, does he really get it? It's okay. It's okay.
It is okay.
It is okay.
I still get upset too. I have to remind myself, like I said, my child is 21 years old, but I have to go in that room and I go, enter at your own risk.
Yes.
And it is ridiculous in there. And we have to go in there with her step by step. This is how you clean. Right. We are not going to have you in here looking like a bag lady.
Right.
In this room.
Exactly. Okay. So we're saying you could still, I don't want to say, like, you don't have to be a cautious parent. You can still be parent how you don't parent. Yep.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
You're human.
Right.
You're going to go through whatever you're going to go through, and not being so hard on yourself.
Don't be so hard on yourself. It's not your fault. No. The same things that you wouldn't accept for your neurotypical kids, we don't accept it. So when I get mad, it's just... Look, he gets the look. You guys can't see the look, but
it's the mama look.
Look. What we're not going to do is,
exactly.
Put those scissors in the box, and we're not going to be cutting all of mommy's stuff.
Oh, no, not the cutting.
This is too much fun. So what are maybe three things that you could tell parents to do once they maybe identify the steps? So maybe we can just review what the 5 stages are, and then so they can maybe identify to themselves, like, where am I here? And then what can they do to, on a daily basis, something that you would recommend to, keep your mental health, it's important. We could talk about a whole nother session on the rabbit hole of trying to do it all and all those things. But for right now, let's review the teacher in us. Let's review the 5 stages, and then maybe give a few 3 tips on kind of what they can do to, check in on themselves. Daily, because you can't always talk to your clients. Don't get to talk to you every day, right? You got to be able to
Do some things
have
on
some
your own.
things on your own that you can, that are doable.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to be like,
Yes.
go on a 5-mile hike and you have six kids or 4 kids or 3 kids. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
right. Even one kid.
Even one kid.
Lot,
okay.
Because they take a lot of your attention.
Yes.
Right. But just going back through the 5 stages of grief, and that's what we were saying that, you know, you may experience when you get the first diagnosis of your child. Is denial, right? Having the denial. Then there's the anger stage, there's the bargaining stage, there's the depression, and then there's finally the acceptance stage. And so just try to figure out where you may fall within the stages. And the stages, they're not linear. So you can be in one and then bounce to another one, right? Go shift in between. So you may start off, you know, with anger, right? And then shift to the bargaining, then go up to the denial, right?
Okay.
So just wanting you to know that it doesn't have to go in order.
I didn't know that. Okay.
With how it's listed. And some things that you can do because you got to take care of yourself, right?
Yes.
As you're taking care of your kids, particularly when you have or children with special needs, because it does require more from you, more energy. And so I'm going to say you need to definitely, I know this is going to be hard, but this is a must, moms. You have to get at least 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep every night.
Yeah.
Sleep is so very important. When we are sleep deprived, one is the same as being inebriated, right? Or intoxicated, what they found. 2, when you are sleep deprived, it impacts your concentration, it impacts your focus, it impacts your mood, so you're more irritable, more cranky, right? Your energy level is low.
Right.
So at least get 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep. Please try your darndest to get closest to that. I know things happen, right? But try to get closest to that as possible. What I often say in order to do that, think of whatever time you need to wake up and then count back by 7 hours.
Oh, okay.
So then you know what time you need to go to sleep by.
Right.
And what is your latest that you can go to sleep. So that's just number 1. 2, when you wake up in the morning, this is something that's free. Just do some light stretches. Less than 5 minutes when you wake up.
Okay.
Because when you do the stretches, it's going to help your body, the blood circulating through your body, and that's going to help with your mood. And that's going to help you be more available for your children.
Right.
So that's a great one. And one of the other things I tell my clients all the time, and I actually write this up on a nice yellow paper. And it said, I tell them to say every time they wake up in the morning, today is going to be a good day.
Okay.
I've had clients post it. They posted it at work. They posted it in their bathroom, in their bedroom, right, wherever they're at. But I want you to wake up and you say, today is going to be a good day. Right. Because how I think about the day is going to impact how I feel. Yes. And then my actions on what I do. Right. Right. So just a quick review. 3 things that you can do. Get 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep every day. Yes. When you wake up, you're going to do some light stretches, less than 5 minutes of sticking your arms out to the side. You can go up, you can go over. You want to hold the stretch, the pose for at least 25 seconds, right? And then the third option is, the third thing is when you wake up in the morning, you're going to say, today's going to be a good day. Okay. So you can say that before you actually stretch. Yes. So as soon as you open your eyes, you can say, today's going to be a good day. Or you can say it after you stretch, today's going to be a good day. A mantra. Right? Yes, it's a mantra. And I want you to say it at least 7 times. Because what we know, research has shown us, is it takes us saying or hearing something 7 times before it actually sticks. Okay. So that's why I have my clients
Dr. Nicole's taking us to school. I'm like this. Okay.
I literally sit in, when I'm in session, I will sit there when I have my clients say certain affirmation statements. I count on my hand and I make them say it 7 times. And they're looking at me, why am I saying it? Because I want it to stick. Right.
Yes, we do. Now, if they want to hear more from you, where can we find you, Dr. Nicole Arkadie?
Well, my social handles, I try to make it as simple as possible. It's Dr. Nicole Arkadie. Okay. That is simple. Twitter, Instagram. I have a YouTube channel, Dr. Nicole Arkadie. That is NicoleArkadie. D as in David, I-E. You can also visit my website. If you visit, you can subscribe to a newsletter and you get 2 free downloadable ebooks. Oh. One on stages of grief. Oh. Yes. Hey. And the other is on mental wellness tips. Good. And that is www.NicoleArkadie.com. And you can also access different inspirational items. I have books. Yes. Also centered around mental wellness and just giving inspiration and helping you to be and live your better you.
Yes. And you have a podcast.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. That's right.
Yeah.
I have podcasts also, so you can listen wherever podcasts are available. I try to make it simple. Dr. Nicole Arkadie. It's how you can find it. Mental Wellness Mondays. So I do my podcast on Mondays.
Okay.
I'll send it around. As you can see the theme.
Right.
Mental Wellness.
Yep. And your catchphrase, because I love it.
My catchphrase is "You matter too, so take care of you."
Yes, moms and dads, because Dre gets mad when I don't say dads.
Yes, I know. And we're not excluding it. And I'm glad you said that. Even though I focus on moms, I'm not excluding dads.
Right.
I'm focusing on moms because moms don't focus on themselves.
Yes.
And no one focuses on moms.
Right.
Moms focus on everyone else.
Yes.
And neglect their own needs.
Right.
Dads get moms.
Yes.
Right. Moms focus on dads. Mom tells the kids, hey, kiss me dad.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's why I'm focusing. Right. Okay, which one you want to do?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Gucci, Gucci, Prada.
So that's why. So yeah, we're not trying to exclude dads, right? It's just the focus.
Yes.
We want, because moms don't focus on ourselves.
Especially in that time, because you know what? We just want what's best for our babies. That's what it boils down to.
Yes, it does. Oh, I like that one. I was trying to figure out.
Yes. Well, we're going to finish playing with this and finding some new tunes. I might have to come over here and record all of my podcast episodes so that I can have some sound effects. But I want to thank you so much for coming on, and I'm sure we'll be, I'm sure that we'll be connecting again soon. Hope that you guys all have a great rest of the day, and thank you for taking the time to listen.